everyone, ZeBirdBrain here, and today we are talking about rigging. So there's many deformers to explore, and this week I will focus on the curve and the curvelope. So select your drawing, go get your rigging tool. If you don't know much about deformers, I suggest watching the playlist from the beginning because I cover the bone and I covered the basics in another video. So click on your curve, go get your rigging tool, and then you get to your tool property window and you select the curve mode. Mode in which curve deformers are created. Thank you, Harmony. This is very helpful. So you click on your drawing, get your rigging tool, click on this. And then what you're gonna do is, instead of going click, 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 you go click, drag, click, and drag. And this will give you your beautiful deformer. Alright, so let me do that again very slowly because this is usually the thing that my students don't get. So I'm gonna do it twice. So you click on your drawing, go get your rigging tool, get your curve deformer, and then what you're gonna do is try to imagine having your shape be divided in 3. So to practice, get your rigging tool and you click and you drag up to like 1/3 of your shape, and then you release. So you have your first stick or handle, and then you go to the end where you want your next point to be. You click and you drag backward where you came from up to around 1/3. So this gives you a curve deformer with the handles that are roughly 1/3 of your shape's size. So when you move them, you get a very even deformer. So the click and drag technique for deformer is really important because you're going to be using it for curves, curvelope, and envelope. So it's important to know how to trace a curve, but to be fair, it's not used that much nowadays. It was used a lot when it first came out, but you'll see why it kind of got replaced by another more efficient deformer. But still, the curve is very useful for anything that has a strategic pivot point and that needs to move. You know, like bugs' antennas, because they're gonna move like that and they're gonna rotate from the offset. So it's good for antennas, and yeah, it's basically only good for antennas nowadays, if you ask me, but maybe you're a fan of curves and that's alright. I'm just not a fan of curves. And this is because on a curve you have an offset point that, just like the bone, will move everything at the same time. So if I get my bone, you'll see the resemblance. It moves everything. So it's very useful for antennas and stuff like that. But if you're making a leg with it, you will love to have like your foot connected to that. But if you set your foot here and then you want your leg to stay here and move it from here, well, it's not going to be very efficient. Which is why the curvelope was kind of created and stuff, because the curvelope is not really a deformer. Like, you won't see anything called a curvelope in there. It's just that some people in some studios saw that they could take the envelope deformer and trace a curve with it. So the same technique as before, but you see, the offsets are not the same. This offset has a little leg that makes it move, but this one doesn't have it. So what happens if I move this one? Oh, it doesn't rotate and it doesn't push everything away. So this is the big difference between the curve and the curvelope. So the curve is traced with a curve deformer with a little foot there, and the curvelope is a curve made with an envelope. So you trace a curve, but you use the envelope deformer, okay? The advantage of using the curvelope over the curve is that if you move your deformer here and you want to adjust this side a little bit, well, you'll be able to do so with the curvelope. But with the curve, you need to constantly counter animate what you've done. So the curve is useful for antennas and stuff that has a very strategic pivot point, but generally we're going to use the curve for anything else. Like, you can make very nice hair with that you can make your hair flow in the wind and stuff. You can make eyebrows, so you can make your character be like angry or surprised. And it's very easy with the curvelope, because all of the stuff I'm doing now is not very easy with the curve, because if this is my expression and I want to keep this point here but just make this one a bit higher, forget it! It's going off to space in a direction that is completely out of control. I'm kidding, it's just there. Yeah, so that was it for the curve and the curvelope. So the name is not official. You won't find the term curvelope in any Toon Boom documentation. It's just a term that we created here in Montreal in studios, and I've been using it ever since. So yeah, bone, curve, and curvelope. I hope you have fun with them, and I wish you a very nice week.